Hello everybody, welcome back to another Collection Gaming video, and today I wanted to talk about a story that I saw on TikTok. Now, I don't know if this is real. I tried to do some research on it and I couldn't find anything. Maybe if I did some, more, I might be able to find it, but for some reason it's just not showing me anything. But I wanted to talk about the story because it's really, really awful. And if it's real, this is just nasty. So this girl called Maddie was out, and apparently her dad had been more lenient on curfew, right? So her curfew was much earlier than she was gonna be, and she stayed out past her curfew, and she texted dad. Her dad was like, yeah, whatever, come back. And she was like, okay. So she ended up going back, and she walked in and the living room just smelled of smoke, and apparently no one in her family smoked, so she was quite confused, and she saw her dad just there, and she said, what are you doing? And he tells her, I've just killed your mother. And to any normal person, that's going to be an awful thing to hear. And obviously she's like, what? And she's like crying, and she's like, no, you're lying. And he's like, no, go look in there, it's all bloody, I killed her. And apparently it was for no reason. Apparently he'd just been treating her like shit, and one day he just went crazy and killed her. So it was her and her little brother, and yeah, apparently he also put locks, or he made some sort of system up to keep them in the house. And apparently, I think he frequently did so, I'm not so sure about this. But apparently she went to her room as instructed, and then pretended to fall asleep, and then did actually accidentally falling asleep because she was exhausted. And I think what happened was she went on call to her ex, who she was still friends with, and his mum found out the situation and called the police. The dad was apprehended, and her and her little brother were okay. And they found the mother. So from what I read, she'd avoided the room, so she hadn't even gone in there to see if her mother was actually dead. I guess she just couldn't bring herself to do it. And then basically they came in, or they came out and told her that, yeah, her mum was dead. And apparently hearing that was just awful, because it meant that it was true. I guess she'd also not gone in there to avoid the fact that it was true, that her mum was dead. But yeah, reading this, I just thought it was it's just an awful story. A lot of people were judging her as well about how she didn't call the police immediately. He was armed as well. That's how he killed the mum. He killed her with a gun. He was armed, and I think, from what I also read, when the police actually initially infiltrated, I think he come out with a gun, intentionally, or initially going to defend himself, but then I think he just let them arrest him. So he was going to fight the police, and didn't, because I guess, he wanted to live. Oh, and another thing as well, when she walked in there and he originally told her that he killed her mum, he asked her to kill him with a gun, the same gun that he'd killed the mum with, because he didn't want to live anymore. So this, just a piece of shit, really. Again, if this is right, I could not find any shred of evidence to back this up. I looked through TikTok, I looked online, I don't know why, and nothing was just working for me. You know how TikTok is when people do make comments and then it turns into the blue comments? I looked through all of them. I couldn't find anything linking to the story. The way she wrote it as well was really weird. I don't know if she has dyslexia or something, but it was just really difficult to read. Well, no, it wasn't difficult to read. I could obviously understand it. I was just some parts were a bit it was just in disarray a bit. But I guess if you're writing a story like that, you could expect that. But yeah, just a really awful story, and I wanted to talk about it because that's just a really bad thing to go. Well, that's a fucking evil thing to go through. But yeah, I was wanting to kind of talk about it because that's genuinely just awful. Wanted to bring some awareness to the story. Again, I wish I could try and link it in any way. I can't. If I manage to find an article to back this up, I'll probably link it or something. But yeah, until then, peace.